that when I got approached about that interview, I said, I'll go for it.
Yeah.
And I did.
I just want to let you know it said you're live, Carla. I don't know what time
Yes.
you said it for.
Well, no, then I have to put live. So we are not. Oh.
So it says I'm just telling you what it says.
It says meeting is now streaming live.
That's what I said. You know I do this twice a week.
I know. I should have.
Well, it says
let's just stop. We're 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
You're 5 minutes early.
You know, but
it's 12:40.
The instructions.
It says on mine 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm watching it on another, like my son's tablet.
Yeah, it's 12:40, so it's actually early. I'm not sure why I did that.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay. So just
we have a delay.
Don't say anything.
You know, because it said on the instructions. On the instructions, it said to that, and then it would go live, like it would show in a little
box.
Honestly, I like those earrings.
Oh, thank you. I made them myself.
Are those like pearls? Or
it's no, they're just a little.
They look crystal. Are they crystal?
Crystal. They are very pretty though.
Yes.
You know, Leslie, I'm gonna go with yours next time because the delay is driving me crazy.
Yeah, I've never gone live with Zoom. I've only used StreamYard. I know when I was on Poshmark's live, they were like, oh, Zoom. I'm like, oh, Zoom, that's how you do it. I prefer StreamYard. The other thing is, if you're not consistently using Zoom, StreamYard is good because it's free. I do a paid version just because I'm doing some other stuff, but you can go 20 hours a month for free on StreamYard live. So you can have guests up to 6 people on. So that's why I like them, even though I have Zoom as well, because I use Zoom to record my podcast. So I pay a monthly subscription for Zoom as well. But I don't really like a lot of the quirks. You see what happened like Rosalind yesterday with her live. And I said to her last night too, try StreamYard and see if you like them. It's
why does it
concept?
Does StreamYard let you share your screen, Leslie?
Sure do. Yep, I've done it.
Does? Okay.
I've done Pinterest. I have a live from, so it does have the streaming capabilities.
You know, I can hear you.
No, I actually said that wrong. Does it let you share your screen? So like, let's say if I was doing a YouTube and I want to
I understood that. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I've done that before. So you'll go live. You'll hit the same thing here. You hit this share and then you talk about whatever you're talking about.
Okay.
Do you guys hear double too?
No.
I mean, somebody has a device on somewhere.
What kind of a device?
Like if you're on your tablet and you're in Carla's live.
Oh, can they please turn it off, please?
Or just mute, or just turn
mute it. Yes.
Yeah, mine's muted. Mine's muted.
Mine is not on.
Okay, so it says, I'm looking at it and it says, let me see what it says. It says live in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So it says live in 2 minutes on YouTube.
Do you still hear the double thing?
I do.
I have my phone off, and that's the only thing that I have near me.
Okay, so we're not live yet.
Yeah, but it
no.
So it says 2 minutes, live in 1:42. Do you get a countdown on your side?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Leslie. Mine says 1:34.
I have 12:43.
People are saying hello.
I have 12:43 also.
People are saying hello, but I don't know. So it's
everyone.
So I'll wait. Hello, friends, and see. I see Rosalind. Rosalind. I want to see if it's going to pop up because all these people are on there. Cynthia.
There is.
I don't see anybody in chat.
Puerto Rican girl.
I don't see anybody either. I'm still on delay.
Leslie, how are you seeing them in chat? I don't see them in chat.
Rosalind.
Look at all that.
Cynthia.
Yeah, I don't see that.
53 seconds. They're all in there. See all this right here? That's them talking in there.
Oh, my husband.
So that's
hello, everyone.
So I don't know. It's
I don't see him in chat either, but it's just probably delayed.
Yeah, last night mine was delayed too. I was like going live. I was talking, and I would say something and like 3 minutes later, I was like, wow, it's a delay. So YouTube gets kind of quirky on occasion.
It's driving me crazy. Yes, how am I supposed to moderate if I'm delayed?
Well, you can't worry about that. All you can do is just worry about from your end, just talk.
Mhm.
And as the questions pop up, you'll just read them again.
I like those
so fast
frame
anyway,
designs you have
probably-
back there,
Yeah.
Carla.
yeah.
Those like 2 frames with frames type deal. I like that.
So it says it's waiting for you. Do you have to click something? Because it doesn't automatically go live when I do it. I have to actually click the button.
Oh, my wall. I don't know if you can see it now because it's delayed, but okay, we're okay, but Michael could see us because he says hello. So where do I go live?
Yeah, it's saying waiting for you. So I don't know. Maybe we are live. Let's go. Let's see.
Yeah, it says waiting. That's what mine says.
Yeah, it says waiting for unequal match.
Mm-hmm.
It should say waiting. It says
Where?
waiting for you.
Donde?
Yeah, so it's something you should click.
Should be a button somewhere.
Live. Oh, here?
Yep.
No, it says live.
Click on it.
Click on it. Yeah.
Because on one you're streaming, but on the other one it says that you're waiting.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. I
Say hello to the girls.
Hi.
No, I actually have to click it myself in order for it to open up live.
Okay. Saying that it's live.
Hmm.
Wow, that's a delay.
Yes, a lot.
Wow.
So what do we do, Leslie?
If you're live, then it's probably a delay. It's YouTube.
Okay.
Okay.
So we should just go in and then everybody else will catch up, I guess.
Okay.
So Michael, can he see it from his device? Like what does it look like where he is right now?
Just go with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so like we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to do this with my friends Leslie, Kristen, Michaela, Sandra, and Terry. I wanted to talk about how we as women sometimes do not empower ourselves or don't accept compliments and how to change that. So I'm gonna let the girls also talk a little bit about them and introduce themselves. And because there's a delay, I hear myself while I'm talking. So we will start with Leslie because she's right next to me.
Hello, friends. My name is Leslie Tucker. I am 51 years old. I am married. I have a blended family of 10. I push 5 of those people out. And I am a business owner. Reselling is one of the businesses that I run. And I am better known as a reseller's passion on YouTube and all over the globe. And it is a pleasure to be here amongst these beautiful ladies today.
There's a delay.
Kristen?
Hi, I'm Kristen. I live in Alabama. I am engaged to, he is a firefighter. He's always on and off shift, so it's crazy around here. I have 2 boys. We have 4 boys, blended 4 boys, but I put, like Leslie, I pushed 2 of them out myself.
And my husband's a retired firefighter, Kristen.
Well, thank you. Tell him thank you for his service. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kay. I work at a call center. Shoot, I'm older, but I'm single, but I am mother to my cat Noodles.
I like that name, Noodles.
Right? It's nuts.
Cute.
Thank you.
Sandra?
Hi, everybody. My name is Sandra. My posh name is Posh Lady 777. I'm retired and I'm married, and I am 60 plus. I'm not going to tell you my real age,
We
but
want
this
to
is the
hear.
first time I've ever even said that I was 60 plus, but I am. Anyways, I have 11 grandchildren from a blended family, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you ladies.
Beautiful. Sandra, can I say that the best way to empower women is to let them know how old you are, because you're beautiful and I love everything that you're doing. So when you hold back on that, it makes other people say, you know what, I'm not going to reveal my age. I'm 51 and I'm proud, and I hope to get 61 and something like Sandra one day.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You know, I went back to Zoom. It's much better now. Like it's, yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm the one left.
Oh, Terry?
Hello, everyone. Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Terry Lynn Dupree. I'm evolving always on Instagram, Poshmark, Macari, TikTok, so easy to find. And Sandra, you have inspired me. And so I'm 51, so I'm looking forward to greater things now, you know, that I know, like Leslie said, you have empowered me today, so thank you.
Yes. And look at her. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, I
you.
have a husband and a son, so, and my husband kind of got me started on Poshmark, just thought I'll let y'all know that real quick.
And she has a fabulous closet.
Thank
You sure do.
All of you ladies, all of you ladies. Michaela, you're still buying from me.
Of course.
You're mine.
She said you're mine.
She's mine.
Now Carla.
Talking about empowerment, right? Okay, so let's start. I was reading a lot about how we as women don't empower ourselves, and when we do, the other party that's been empowered doesn't receive it. Or maybe it does, but doesn't let you know that, you know, she's happy with the compliment. Like we were talking 2 seconds ago, you know, with if you say, oh my God, your hair is so pretty, and you're like, oh my God, no, I look like a dog. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, oh, thank you, or your clothes, or it, you know, oh, this is so cheap, or this is so old, or this stuff that we should just say thank you. You know, and we did put an effort on, you know, if the earrings, we chose them. If you lose weight, that's your effort. If you get a promotion, that's on you, right? So why don't we accept it? Do we, is it because when we're little, we are taught to be, you know, humble? Is it because society? Is it because we don't want to be seen as cocky? We want to please? What do you guys think?
Well, I know for me personally, when I receive a compliment or whatever, I know it just makes me feel awkward. Like I'm like, thank you. I don't know what to say because I'm just like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Kristen froze there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can relate too, especially about the hair thing, because when I was growing up
I
as a
guess
kid,
I don't know.
oh, sorry.
Finish up, Kristen, and
No,
then
you're
we'll
fine.
go to
Go ahead.
Terry.
Go ahead.
Are you
Okay,
Terry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying that I can relate, especially about the hair thing, because I got picked on as a kid in regards to my hair. So when people talk about my hair, I always say thank you, but I'm, you know, always feel weird about it, and I shouldn't. So I'm gonna get over that. I'm 51. I'm gonna get over that one.
And your hair looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
I love
welcome.
your
There
hair.
you go.
Thank you, beautiful ladies.
But I would say, I think it's because we as women don't own our truth. That's really what it is. We don't recognize who we are. It is a process. So we were talking earlier that when you're younger, it could be that thing that Carla was saying, that our mothers taught us to be ladies and be humble. but it could be for other people that they were never, that was never instilled in them. So everything that was never given to me, I give to my children, and I let them know how beautiful, how special they are, you know, how smart they are. They know that, they own it. So that when someone comes and presents that to them, they already know that, you know, whether it be a female or a male. But it also does take age. It takes growing up and realizing what is important in life. For me, I'm 51. I have alopecia. I lost my hair like 9 years ago, and I got to the point where I decided to shave it off. I could wear a wig. I could do something else. But why do that? You know? And so it is a process of getting to that place. It's about you. It's not about the individual giving you the comment. It's how you feel in yourself. That's really what it's about. Do you deserve that compliment from that person? Do you deserve what they're giving to you? So what happens for me is, if you do follow me on Instagram, you see I own everything. I'm transparent. Like, there's no deeper place I can go when somebody says, yeah, you're bold. I'm like, no, I'm not bold. I'm bald. I'm Leslie. I know how beautiful I am. I know how smart I am. And I own that. Years ago, I didn't, but I own that. And that's really what it is, knowing who you are first before somebody else validates you. Because if you can't receive it, if you don't believe it yourself. That's really what it is about.
But I think sometimes you do believe it, but you just don't want to appear as
Cool, true.
You know, as cocky or yeah, you know, like maybe you don't want her, because we so bad want to be accepted that you don't want her to be like, oh God, she thinks she's all that.
But see, then that's you. But again, that's you.
Yes.
Yeah, you just said that you don't want her. So that becomes about what you feel another person's going to, you know, how they're going to look at, perceive
and
you.
that's, yes.
So really, that's the key. It's still all about, it's your internal,
It's
because
your internal.
she could have some ulterior motive, but you don't want to think that deep about it, you know?
Yeah. And that's what we need to learn. That you know, you said you're there. But I'm trying to get there, and I think I'm getting there, and I think sometimes I'm more there than I think I am. But I do want girls to know that you can't control what people think about you, and that's what, you know, you want to please, but if they are not pleased with what you're saying, that's their problem, not yours.
Right.
You know, you have an intention, and if they don't take it that way, then there's nothing else you can do.
I agree.
I agree too. I mean, it's like the disease to please, right? You just have to learn to say no, you know. And for me, it's been a struggle because, you know, I always want to do the right thing, or, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to say no, but then I say yes. So I'll go against my own grain. And then I think, well, if I say no, you know, are they gonna just like dislike me or something, you know? And I'm learning how to be my own master of my own fate, you know?
Yeah, it's funny how men don't think like that.
No.
Because, you know, sometimes I tell Michael, I don't know. And he's like, well, if you don't want to do it, say no. And I'm like, yeah, but he's like, what? Just say no.
Yeah, my husband does that. He says that to me all the time. If you don't want to do it, just say no.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say no. It's difficult because you want to be there and you want to please and you want to help. That's our role as women is to nurture, to help grow.
Right.
Well, that's a role that we were given, though.
It's very difficult to say no.
Yeah, that was a role we were given.
That's a role that society has given us that we have to break. Right? And I agree with you, Kate, that yeah, we are nurtured and you know, we are mothers and we're all this, but we're also ourselves. And sometimes we do lose ourselves into, you know, I remember when I had the boys and they started daycare at, I want to say 1.5. And at first, everybody was like, "Oh, that's Ian and Alex's mom. Are you Ian and you know, it was fun." But then I was like, "I'm Carla. I'm not only Ian and Alex's mom. I'm, you know, that's my best job, and I will give my life to my kids, for my kids. But I'm not only their mom. And that was a little, shook me up a little bit.
Holding it and being is what you're saying.
Yes.
One thing I want to say about that is very true what you're saying, but the other thing is you have to realize when people say that to you, that's the identity that they have. So because you see it all across the board when you go on Instagram, so mommy of so-and-so is the name of their thing, or wife to so-and-so is the name of their Instagram, or you share an email with your husband or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. But again, where does your identity come in? And the cool thing about where I'm at now, all of my children are adults. So I'm no longer, I'm their mom, but my role as their mom is done. I'm their advisor now. I advise. I don't pay anybody's bills. I don't do any of that stuff. And so it's me. I've taught my children how to cook and everything. Like last night I cooked dinner and I said to my husband, enjoy it because I'm not cooking for a while. I literally cook when I want to, which will be maybe once a week for something I want, because I've raised all my children to learn how to cook and stuff like that. So that so that no one will say to me, are you cooking today? Are you washing dishes? There is no role. My son, I raised him the same way I raised the girls. Everybody puts out trash. Everybody mows the lawn. Everybody, don't come to my house about some boy, girl stuff.
Yes.
Here. So you have to just say when you get to a certain age, sometimes that's all people have. But I talk about it often that I knew at some point that my children would leave me. So I started creating who I was when they were young. I wasn't in deep like I am now, but I prepared myself by having a small little business, by, doing some of the things that I like to do. So now that I have no babies, I do whatever I want to do. It is a process, and I'm me. So it's for the women who they're claiming who they are. Because there's a lot of people who look at me and I say, my son's in the Army. Aren't you sad? Well, I raised him to go off. Like what's going to happen when he gets a wife? I'm going to be, nobody important to him anymore. So that's how I have to live my truth in that, preparing for who I am individually more so than ever. And when we're younger, sometimes it's older than that. So when they approach you that way, that's how they look at you, Carla, because also I stayed at home too, but I still was like running 2 businesses when I was at home with my kids.
Oh, I worked.
The mommies who are that's all they do is mommies. And it's, again, nothing wrong with that. So you start looking like, well, my husband, my children, I go, so what are you doing for you? Oh, I'm taking, no, what are you doing for you? So yeah.
I did work. Once they were 3 months old, my cousin took care of them. And I worked until 3 anyway. So, but I had to go to work.
See, I'm with Leslie. We have no. Okay, so it's not. We don't have roles in here either. There's 3 guys here. There's 3 men. Okay, and me. And I'll be honest, Eric cooks most of the meals. I mean, I can, but he just likes to do it, and we all help clean up. I just want my boys to know that they can help and put in effort, and it's not going to be, there's more to me than just what is pretty much kind of ingrained in them.
That's another question, Christine. I'm glad you said that, because in my house, I hardly cook. Usually either the boys or Michael cook. And when I cook, the boys are like, thank you, Mom, for cooking. And I have to say, my kids are like amazing in the way they are very thankful and very polite. And
yes.
Do you feel like we have a responsibility with girls and with boys to teach them?
I think
Go ahead,
I think that we should teach our kids. Like, I don't have any female kids, but if I did, I would teach them that there's no such things as the roles that society is trying to portray on women. And it's so important, especially when you go to corporate America, because going back to what you were really starting the conversation off with, Carla, men do talk about their accomplishments. And that's one of the reasons why they get ahead, because anytime they do anything, even if it's something they didn't really do, they say, this is what I did. If it's something that they mentioned to somebody else, then they still did it. And we women tend to not do that because we feel like we want to be humble. But in corporate America, you have got to step up and mention your accomplishments, take ownership in them. So, and that's how you get ahead. If you don't, then you're just gonna be behind. And that's
Yeah.
why sometimes women are paid less for things that they're supposedly doing the same work as men, because they don't talk about the things that they're actually doing.
Yeah, I agree. Because I
That-
worked in Wall Street for many years, and it was always a competition with the men. Because in Wall Street, the majority of the men have the best jobs, and they make the most money. So it was always a struggle for the women to always be in competition with them. So I totally agree about that. That the men. And, sometimes I did things, for my department, and then my manager, which was a guy, he would take the credit for it, and it was just, I just felt like I couldn't say anything because he was my manager, but, it was disturbing. It really was.
Yeah.
I
It,
think
it
that's
really
one of
is. It's really hard in corporate America. That's why I definitely teach, or if you do have young ladies, teach them to be tough. And I mean, when I was in corporate America, it was always taken, I was given names, because when women are tough and, like they are, then we're given negative names. When we
Mhm.
do the
B word?
same actions,
The B
I've been
word.
called the
they
B word
do,
so
The B
many
word.
times. I own it
it's-
now. Yes,
it's-
I am.
Yeah. And see, but now times are changing, so they
Right.
won't necessarily get that backlash. But if you're teaching them right, they'll know how to present themselves and move forward. Us older people like that are 51, and Sandra relates too, we just had to have had those names. Those names had to be tied to us. Oh yeah, she's tough, she's this. I won't go into what was said, but yeah, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Because it's my career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I teach that a lot to my girls because I a lot of times I was, quiet and shy when I was younger, but once I started working and became a mom, that mama bear tiger thing came on. So that overtook my personality. And working, I started off in corporate and then I left to stay at home. And then I went into food service. So if you ever know Gordon Ramsay or whatever, and you're in these kitchens, that's where the backbone is. Like, the kitchen, I mean, I don't know about corporate America, like real tough, but the kitchen, they're screaming and hollering at each other. My thing is you can say whatever you want to say, long as it's not directed to me, because they're cussing and carrying on. I don't use profanity in conversation. So I'm like, hey, if that's what you need to do, but don't direct it at me and don't call me anything, because I turn into a whole different person. I had that experience at my last job, and my manager was the person who initiated this situation. And real quick, I didn't care who she was. I told her what was expected and what wasn't expected. Seriously. And I had actually just transferred. I've been at this company. I've been in the district for 4 years working, and I got a promotion. So I moved into a promotion situation, never having any issues at all. And something started, and I called her out to say that Leslie said you are so-and-so. I told her, no, my goal is when I go into a business, if you haven't heard it from me, I haven't said it. That's the first thing, because I'm like straightforward like that. I don't have time for gossip. But then also, if you're going to say something, claim that you did it. So I cussed her out, not, and then she called in supervisors, and I told them, I said, I don't care what you have to say. I was hired by the person who hired me. The director wasn't even there. I sent her a message yesterday. If this ever happens to me, I'm taking it to the top. So you have to kind of do that. And by then I was 48. And then a year later I left. I was tired of them and I became a full-time reseller. But it's like, I tell my children, what you accept is how you're going to be treated. I can't speak. I can speak. I started working in corporate America when I was 18. So you do the best that you can. Again, as long as no one's putting their hands on me or personally, cussing me out, I'm good, because they're going to work the way that they work, and companies work the way they work. So you have to deal with it. I have a daughter who's on the spectrum, and she's in food service. She went to school to be a chef. So she works at the local university. And so basically the cool thing is, because of her personality, she's pretty chill, but also because of her personality, I have to explain to her, this is what is acceptable and this is what's not acceptable. So it's really like a crazy kind of.
Now that you talked about your children, how did you raise up? This goes for you and Sandra. Did you raise your children like you were raised, especially your girls?
No.
Or did you raise them Because Terry, you have boys, right?
Yeah, I have a boy.
And
yes.
Kristen has boys. For what you guys said, I'm assuming you raise them like I do, very, very feminist.
Go ahead.
In a way, in a way, like, you know, right, we're all the same, and they know, know who RBG was and Rosa Parks, and they are very into that, into civil rights and everything.
Well, when I was growing up, my dad and my mom, I was a tomboy. I wasn't like a girly girl. I've never been a really girly girl. But my dad always told me, don't start no crap, but you better end it. So, you know, he's always taught me that. And I've always lived by that. And I teach my kids that, as long as, you know, be kind, be nice. But if somebody's messing with you and there's a problem, don't start it, but you better finish it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what I'm saying is the way to not only respect women, because as boys' mothers, you know, we have that responsibility too.
Yeah.
You know, not to see women as the weak gender, but see it as your equal. So my questions to you both is that, did you raise your children? How did you raise your children in that sense? Or you didn't even talk about it?
For me, well, it was simple. Well, for me, it's like I have the one son and I have 4 daughters, and then I married a man with 3 daughters. So my son is really like a great example. The conversations that he and I would have, especially once he reached the high school level, you know, think about how your friends are talking about these girls in the locker room. How they're talking about the girls is how they could be talking about your sister. So imagine your sister in any situation, you know, because that becomes a respect issue also. But with my girls, they were not raised. I grew up in an abusive situation. So what I did was I totally raised my children differently. I didn't do hands-on. Everything was verbal. Everything was dialogue, conversation. Come to me. Because in my generation, I know a lot of girls who have been abused, and they're taught, and it's this societal thing where something happens and they go talk to their parent about it and nothing's done. I have always from day one told my girls, thankfully nothing has happened, but I have prepared them for situations. So one example in terms of if someone's bothering you, touching you, whatever, and they say, oh, you know, I'll do something to your parent, I'll kill your parent. I told my girls, look them in the face and say, my mom said she dead then. And that's what I tell them. Like, you better come and tell me, because I'm dead. I came into this world that no one should be touching you or doing anything disrespectful.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I do is I literally treat everyone the same. Yes, you're a boy. Yes, you're a girl. But you come from, you're breaking these societal curses, right? We call them society, especially when I'm Black, so I can only relate to the Black society. What I will say what my mother did was she raised us in diversity. I grew up in the city of Philadelphia. I literally had the diverse background, like every color. It didn't matter who you loved, anything. Like, I came from that. All my mother's friends, my mother had gay friends, straight friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, and I love that. And that's what I did for my children. Even when they were going off to, 2-day, preschool, we went to the monetary school. So it was 2 mommies, 2 daddies, Asian. They had Asian friends. So whoever walked in the door, all I wanted to know is, you want some cookies? You want some cookies? I didn't care who you were. And so I just raised them to treat everyone the same. Some of the conversations are different, especially when I realize it with the BLM movement. I don't live a movement. I'm Black every day. So I'm just teaching my children every single day about society. I had someone totally off topic, but people were sending me like messages. Why didn't you black out on Tuesday? Or aren't you ashamed that you're not like addressing the BLM? I'm like, I'm not living a movement, people. I'm Black. I've been Black for 51 years. Know what I've been doing? For 29 years, I've been teaching my children how to be Black in America. So it's a whole,
We will talk about that too. Yeah. And you're invited.
Yeah. So it's a whole different thing. But I raised them just different. I just raised them just to be empowered. They're all smart. They're all
empowered. That was the word. Yes. Because I remember, and I'll go right to you, Sandra, but I remember when I was growing up, if girls said, oh my God, when I grow up, I want to live in a mansion, my aunt or my mom, everybody would say, and you know, my mom now is like, that's so stupid. Everybody would say, oh, you better marry a millionaire,
Right.
right, Sandra?
Right.
And I think that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I
Now-
tell people you don't
now,
want to know.
yeah, like,
I'm like,
because it wasn't-
attention is not what you should be aspiring for. You should be
exactly that
You should
they
be out
should
of
have said.
debt.
Then you gotta go to school.
That's what
You know.
someone taught me about money. So actually, I teach my children about a debt-free lifestyle. I don't want to be a millionaire. I want to be out of debt. So when I leave here, there's no debt left behind. I currently don't have any debt.
No, but what I mean is, instead of them saying, you know, you don't have to marry a millionaire. You
Right.
can be the millionaire.
Yeah. See, I've never had that conversation, so that's for other people. But I'm just saying, if they were to say that, that would be what I'm saying though. See how your family said marry somebody. To me, I don't care if my children get married or not, because that's like me saying go to college. I don't have a college degree, and I consider myself to be very successful in my life. You know, I encourage my children if that's the way they want to go. So it's different ways. Every family looks at something differently. Marriage isn't the end all be all, because I've been married 3 times, and I can tell you, I'm not ashamed of that. Everything's been a learning experience. I have 5 beautiful children, and it's led me to here.
I want to go back to that in a second. Let me write it because my ADHD is gonna, but I want to go to Sandra to talk about her. How did you raise your children?
Well, I have one daughter.
She's
and
beautiful.
Thank you. And I was a single mom after I got divorced. Janori was 2 years old when I got divorced, and I was in Puerto Rico. And I found it very hard after my divorce to make ends meet. So what I did was I came to New York City, and I lived with my mom for a little while. And, you know, she has still a lot of rules and regulations, even though I was a grown woman. But now I was living with my mom, and she was telling me how to raise my daughter, and that I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. The same thing that she did when I was growing up, you know, all the rules. So I got an apartment, and I got 2 jobs. Now this little girl was 2 years old, and every morning I would get up, she'd get up, and I'd take her in the, you know, subway, and I would take her to the nursery school, and she would stay there, and I would go to work, and then I come back, I pick her up, I go home. On the weekends, I had another job, and my cousin would take care of her while I was out working. I raised my daughter to be empowered in the sense that you can become anything you really believe. You know, if you believe in yourself, then you can and you will. And she saw that in me, because she always says, Mom, you know, you're like so good because, you know, you raised me well. You know, I put her into a private school because the public school in my area was not that good. Hence the 2 jobs, you know. Then she went to a high school that was for all girls because she didn't want to go to a regular school. And then she went to college, and she's seen how I struggled, you know, to have 2 jobs to make ends meet for us, because it was just me and her. That was it. You know, I didn't have a husband. I didn't have a boyfriend. You know, I didn't have family that was going to give me loads of money to make me, you know, like live better. I had to really do it on my own. So she saw all this, and all these things that she saw, she became the person that she is today. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, inside and out. And she's a great mom. She's a great wife. And I'm very proud of her.
Oh.
I love it.
And I'm going to cry.
I actually had a conversation. I was able to sit with her at a Posh and Sip for an hour, and we just talked, you know, and she's not even a seller, and we were just having a great conversation. She's just a beautiful young lady.
Oh.
Thank you.
Good for you guys and your daughters. Wanted to ask, now that you said that you've been married 3 times, partners, women tend to minimize their number of sex partners. What do you think about that?
Well, society
like, if you know, when I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
instead of,
Right.
I don't know. I feel like, as long as both parties agrees, or three or four or five party agree, everything goes. I was, while I was doing this research, I read that there's a lot of women, or the majority of women, that hide their sex partners, their number, you know what I mean? How many guys have they slept with? And I don't know why. Like, if the partner comes, or the husband or the new boyfriend asks them, how many men have you slept with? And if they slept with 10, they would say 6. Or, because they feel like they're going to be judged, while men will never be judged for that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
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 Society keeps doing that, and that's still even prevalent today, in 2020. But society is very much onto that, and men can have 100+ partners, and they're considered gods. And if a woman even dares to mention that she's had that many partners, she's, not a pleasant word. So that's something that society has put out there, and that's why women don't want to talk about it. But say for either one, you got to think about, a lot of partners out there, and there's a lot of diseases out there. I have problems with both, male or female.
Yes, of course. Yeah. How do we change that? How do we change not to be called that ugly word because of whatever, however many their boyfriends or I don't know, we've had. How do we normalize that? Do you think we also judge a lot?
Yes.
Like we as women?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, because I know, realistically speaking, I do think of both sides. There's two people playing that game.
Yeah.
So for her to have been with a man, for her to be with
No, but I'm not saying you personally. I don't either. You do you, boo. If you, that doesn't, you want it,
just in
it's
general,
reusable.
like
You know
generalization,
what I mean?
Yeah.
You can use it and reuse it. It's not gonna go away, or it's not gonna break. So
This is
in general. I'm saying in general.
But I do think it's out there generally, and even my husband's like harder on that. Like, we'll watch a show, and if a woman does something, he's like really on her. Oh, she's so this, she's this. I'm like, I said, well, if it was a man, it'd be the same thing. I have to like constantly say something to him, especially if my son's around, because I'm like, it's the same. It's bad either way, whether it was the woman or the man that did it. So, and he's 50 as well. So I know that's kind of how he was raised, but I say something to him every time. And I think that's the key. Every time, especially a male says something about it, you say something to him, you get him straight right then. We have to, because we don't straighten them out, the behavior will continue. They'll just assume it's okay for them to act that way. And so we need to call people on it, male or female, when they say that, and address it right then. Let them know, no, that's not okay. That's not the proper way to think.
That's it. As soon as we hear it.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Like, I never really even thought about I have conversations with people. Well, I'm only with my husband now, but like my thing is, it's all about testing for me. Like, everyone has a past and everyone has like a middle and an end. So I don't even think about that. Watching TV, I don't really know. I've never even, like with my son, as I said, I'm preparing him to think about like how people would treat his sisters. That's the most I can do with that. Because to me, I think it's changing your thought process. If you're telling someone, well, whatever, it's like my husband's 63 years old. I'm not telling him nothing because he is already where he needs to be. But in terms of like Thomas and I can say my husband conversation, we don't talk about numbers, and it's not because I'm embarrassed.
It shouldn't be talked about, though.
It's not necessary as far as I'm concerned.
It's not.
I agree with Leslie.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
we never. I'll be honest with you. I'm 33, and Eric will be my third marriage, and we never. I personally, I don't care. Like his past is his past.
It's past, exactly.
Right. And he's with me, so it's all good. You know, like. Yeah.
So my
Wait, what do you
husband,
think?
Men are more so into the past thing, though, from my experience.
Oh,
yes, they
I
are.
could care less too, because if it's in the past, it's in the past. I'm
Yeah.
like that too. I don't want to have a conversation about it, because
right.
that's your past. You're with
Exactly.
me now.
Yeah,
Right.
our joke, you know, between Thomas and I, our joke is he'll say to me, "Well, at least I know it's been 5 times because you have 5." Like, you know, but that's like what the, you know, it's like that's what
That's a good
that's
one.
2 people right there, 1 from one and 4 from another. But like, yes,
Right.
that's how deep. Because also, again, if you think about it, like my husband's 12 years older than me, so he's had a life. You
Right.
know, if I dwell on that, like, it's too much.
Yeah, no, you can't. Michael's 12-year older,
Yeah, we've
12-year
been
older than
married
I
for
am.
8 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be 9 years in November. So imagine how much life he lived before me. That's too
Yeah.
deep and too much to, you know, be getting into now. In terms of society, really, honestly, if you're worried about that, my thing is that's what testing is for. You know, like, you have to have an AIDS test before you get married.
Oh yeah, of course.
Get the whole
Be
panel.
safe.
Right. If you just get the full panel, it's a done deal.
Be safe.
Now, one thing is, if you get into that comparison thing, I think you should be able to have a partner where you can have a conversation with and
Yes.
not be embarrassed about it. Dialogue. And what I mean is, I don't want to get too like deep into it, but like, you should be able to talk about things that you like and appeal to you, so that there is no comparison. You know what I'm saying? Leave that behind, because that is a whole nother aspect that you could add to a Carla. Not worrying about how many people, but when it starts getting into maybe your spouse is thinking how good that other person was.
Well, then it's their problem, not yours.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
Then you have to
I
have a
agree.
conversation about that, because
And that's why men like them
what-
virgins, so we don't compare.
nah,
and
I don't
I
believe
agree
that
with
at
that,
all,
because-
because he could be a dud too.
I'm not generalizing. I am
He
generalizing.
a stud, but
Right.
he could be a dud.
funny.
So that, I don't believe in that. I don't even preach that to my children. I just teach.
No, I don't either. No.
No.
That's
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying, though, Carla. That is true. And in some spots, it's even a lot worse. I think, I can't remember if it was China or Japan, but they actually get operations on their private parts because they want the spouse to think they're a virgin.
oh
Yeah,
my
it's a
God.
big thing
That's
there. I
too
can't remember
much
if it's
pain.
China
No,
or Japan.
no.
Yeah,
No.
it's
And the main
crazy.
thing for me, you know, a mama boy is
It's too funny. I've been married twice, and that's never come up. Never, ever. I don't talk about
Exes?
ex-wife. He doesn't talk about my ex-husband. We just don't. We never did. I don't know. It's never been something to
An
talk
issue.
about.
What about you, Kay?
At that point, it becomes irrelevant, and what's the point in talking about it?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't give or take from the relationship at all.
Kristen, you froze. I didn't.
oh, sorry.
I didn't know what you were saying. It's like,
I think, you know, sorry, I think as being a mom, you know, I'm only a mom of boys, but I think moms and daughters and sons, I think as far as numbers go, you know, just making sure that they're safe and that they know what they need to do to keep themselves safe, no matter how uncomfortable it makes anyone, is the key to the whole numbers thing. I know that sounds crazy, but just be safe. Like, just be safe.
Kristen, you're totally right, because that is such a great commitment, and they need to be safe, like you said. And then plus too, they need to understand, hey, you can have some kids and you're not ready to have kids. You know, that's the type
Exactly.
of conversation that I have, because we know things do happen, you know.
Yeah,
Things
I
don't
mean,
always work like you think.
and one thing that Kristen said, which is really important, I think, is if you start conversation with your children early on, just like an everyday conversation, then it's not uncomfortable. Like, my children, they tell me more than I really need to know, honestly, because we talk about, like, when you're ready, you know, we really go through all that. I mean, if you want to tell me when you've lost your virginity, we can talk about that. Believe me, I love the fact that we do have the relationship, but then some days I'm going like, yeah, okay. So it's like, really, it is. So if you start those conversations early enough, and oftentimes it can be generational, you know, it can be, you didn't talk that way with your parents. So
I didn't, but I talk that with my children.
you know,
yes.
but just do it and just talk simply. And then that way, as they get older, you're just having this conversation. Now, when it comes, I don't want to really hear about like your wife and, you know, the position and all that other kind of stuff.
No, not you.
You know? And the last thing I want to say in terms of that is that also it's about being safe, but you still want to come from a place where about responsibility, not doing something for the sake of doing it.
Yes.
Because you can. It's not like you do want to talk to them from a place that, yes, responsible, but it's not like you're giving them permission to just go full on out.
I'm glad you
Correct.
said that, Leslie.
Yes.
I'm glad you
Yes.
said that, because sometimes girls are pushed into
Right. So you want to make
activities.
sure that they're comfortable and that person, you know, makes them feel good. You don't just go off to college and all of a sudden because
Like,
you're
don't do
somewhere.
it because everybody else is doing
Exactly.
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then too, the other thing, and you know, we talk about feminism and everything, but the reality is we do think differently. Male and females do think differently.
Yeah.
And when it comes to sexual intercourse, we think differently there too. And that's something we need to be mindful of and be careful of, because women do tend to put more emotion in that than men.
Yes.
And so that's something we need to, and that can cause problems later on.
Yeah.
For
And that's why I think so many girls are talked into doing
Mhm.
Mhm.
or into having sex, you know.
My
because
dad always told me women are emotional and men are physical.
Yeah.
He
Right.
said, you put all the emotions in it and you feel like you want to do it,
Mhm.
take a step back a minute, take the emotions out and say, do I really want to do this?
Mhm.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Men are totally a physical, and you can see it all the time. I mean, how many couples do you see where the man is very outstanding looking and the woman is like, but the other way around, you see it all the time where a woman's really outstanding looking and her husband's like, and it's because women are more emotional. They saw the emotional part of him, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's funny, but very physical.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what leads to, because I can speak to that from my first marriage. I was very young. I was actually 16 when I met my first husband. We're still good friends today. We should have just stayed friends, but that relationship, because he made me feel comfortable and welcome, you know, that was awesome. I saw in his family and in him what I wasn't getting from home. So that can lead into another conversation is with the
Yeah.
girls, when your father's not around, what you're searching for, you know, because I had that, you know, your daddy wasn't there. So now you need to replace that. And so a lot of relationships can be built on the emotional build up. And then you look back a couple years later and you're in this situation, like, why am I here? You know, and I think back that, again, it was a learning experience. I got my daughter, she'll be 30, and my ex-husband is just a phenomenal person. He's with the person he should be with. But when I look now, I was thinking emotionally, because when I think about my girls, like I met him when I was 16, we were married at 19. My youngest daughter is 18 years old. I can't even imagine. Had my first daughter by 21, my second daughter by 24, my second daughter's 24. Like so when you think about like all that, just based on some emotional, you know, situations that you were in. So we do need to learn how to, you know, figure out what works best for us. But you're young. When you're young, when you're a teenager,
you can't tell them nothing.
But that's the thing, though. That's what I think we have to, you know, I guess the women that have girls, that's the thing that we have to teach or be an example of, don't you think?
You can, well, see, the thing is, you can't be an example because I had children when I was 16. So I don't do that because that would be taking away from my past. With my girls, no matter what, everyone's still going to be like, when they're teenagers,
No. I mean, I meant an example, not because of your experience. Now
you can do. They're still going to learn. Even you're going to see that even with your boys, you know, it's stuff that you tell them. They're not going to do everything that you tell them to do, right? It's like they're still going to go and take that experience. Because my husband gets so upset about that. Like, you know, I keep telling him, I'm like, sweetie, regardless if you're telling them, everybody wants to make their
but
own.
I'm not really talking about that. What I'm saying is, because yes, and I went through that too. And also, you know, there are different times. And as I used to tell my mom, what you lived by 18, I've lived at 15,
Mhm.
you know, because sometimes times go faster and you see more things. And, you know, I was working at 18 because my parents got divorced. And, you know, I saw stuff that I was like, oh, wow, you can do that, you know? So yes, and you're totally right. Times change, and there are different environments, and where you grew up is not where your kids are growing up. You know, I grew up in Peru and Paraguay, and my kids are growing up here, so it's a total different thing. What I'm saying is, since a young age, to teach them, you know, to, and I know teenagers are very pursuable, you know,
Mhm.
we were all, and to be strong in their beliefs. And if they think that, you know, even when you're little, you know what's wrong and what's right. So
It's that thing that and I'm pretty sure everybody can answer it in their own way, but it's that thing when your children go out with their friends, you've instilled everything in them, and then they still have to decide their right and wrong in that moment.
And you have to trust.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. And I say to them all the time, though, when you're about to do it, remember in your head that mom said. So it's like we let them go, and we just have to think, you know, that they're.
Let me tell you, I was traumatized by my mother, because I would see her and I'd be like, no, thank you. Because I would see her face right here, and no, thank you. So thank you, Mom, because
I tell you, I always remember a story that my mom told me. She was very traumatized by her dad in the sex department, to the point that she told me too much about sex at an early age. I used to get tired of her sexual conversations. But anyway, they didn't talk about sex when she was growing up. So when she went on her first date, her dad said, keep your dress down and your drawers up. He called it drawers. It's supposed to be underwear. But so when she went out on a date, she literally wouldn't use the bathroom or anything because she was so scared of him, because he was also kind of abusive. And, you know, I think about that story, and it's funny and sad at the same time when you think about it, and just how society and things change. So she hated that he did that to her. So then she felt compelled to tell me everything, every little thing. I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. And then if I happen to get somebody that got pregnant, I remember at 12 years old, she threatens me, if you get pregnant, I'm kicking you out of the house. I'm like 12 years old looking at her like freaking out. Like, crazy how, you know, things happen, what your parents do sometimes.
What about weight? Michael, I'm gonna, go ahead, Kate.
I was gonna say that the thing on the relationships is, and that's actually a really good point, but is it really that women are emotional whereas men are physical? But is it really self-esteem? So when you're bringing them up, as long as they have a strong self-esteem, they know exactly who they are and they're not lacking, or they realize what they're lacking. Yeah. So that way they don't move forward into a relationship where he or whomever gives them courage where they're missing. Is all I was thinking is, as long as they have strong self-esteem and a strong identity, they know who they are, they know what they are, they know what they're about, they know what their goals are, they know what they want to strive for, they know where they want to be in 5, 10, 15 years from now. Not just that quick, oh, well, he makes me feel good. It's constant.
And I was that's an excellent point. I was gonna say that, is it self-esteem is
definitely that's what I was
think
saying.
That's one of the most important things that you have to give to your children. You're worth it.
That's what I was saying about the missing, like Michaela's totally right about that. Like, if what I was saying when I was going through, like, my father wasn't around and my mother wasn't even into me, you know, she didn't have time, she was doing her own thing, she had children and all kinds of other stuff. So now you don't know who you are. So you go searching for it. And hopefully I've instilled a little bit more. Like, I look at my children now, they have their own places, they're in the military, they're going off to college. So that is really true, Michaela, about, you know, knowing who you are. It took me, you know, many years to get to that place myself, but hopefully my humans are doing their thing.
Obviously they're successful. So they know who they are. They know what is right. They know what is wrong. And if they have a question, they know where to go look.
Yeah.
To find an answer.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that.
Yeah, that's and that comes or brings us to weight, self-esteem again. And how are we, and this might be different for everybody. I am from Peru, and weight is a really big issue, and how you look, it's a really big issue. Usually mothers by 10 a.m. are dressed and makeup on and the hair. Well, that was when I was growing up. I don't know how is it now because I don't live there. But you know, I went, I think about 2008, 2009, and I was dieting my life off. And Michael was like, "Oh my God, they're not gonna wait you," because I was gonna travel there. And Michael was like, they're not gonna wait you once you get there. And I'm like, no, they don't need to. They scan you with their eyes and they know exactly how much you weigh. And you have to be perfect. And that has given me, and I'm trying to break that, now I'm losing weight because of me, because I want to be healthy and I want to be an example for my children, and I want to feel good. But I remember saying, I'm not going to do this until I lose the weight. I'm not going to buy this until I lose the weight. I'm going to wait until I lose the weight. And that stopped me for making videos for, Instagram. That stopped me for a lot of stuff. So even going out, to go out, I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to dress. I felt like I wasn't going to be enough. Does that make sense? Yes. Until I lose the weight. Is that something that has happened to any of you? Is it?
I asked you though first, since you're asking the questions, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why have you felt like that? So
because I was raised like that.
So you were raised like that and you took that. So now at what point are you separating that and doing what Carla needs to do? Which this right here shows us that you're.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's been, and I've been yo-yo dieting. I'm a yo-yo dieter. I lose the weight and then I gain and then I lose and then I gain more and then so.
My question specifically is, why is that important to you though? Like, why do you
talk about it? Because I don't think women should stop living.
Yeah.
Because of their weight. Yes.
No, that's why I'm asking you. That's
yes.
You didn't want to go live and you didn't do, and I wanted to know like why.
Yes, because I didn't feel, you don't feel like you are enough to do it. Or you're not pretty enough, or you're not gonna look good enough to be in front. And we talked about it remember when you interviewed me?
Yes, Carla was on my podcast.
Yes.
One of the early ones.
Yes.
In 2015.
Yes. And I told you I want to wait. First was, the weight, my accent, girls don't wait. Just do it. Do what you need to do. And Leslie, it was one of the people that pushed me to do it. And I think she pushes everybody, and that's what we love you. Just do it. If you have an accent, if you are overweight, if you're underweight, if whatever you are, just do it. Do whatever it needs to be done, because life doesn't wait for you.
We all have accents, and that's the thing. I've been talking about that more lately. Like I have a Philly accent. Sandra's from Jersey. You can totally hear her like Jersey accent. Yeah. I grew up in Philly, so I know what a Jersey and a New York accent sounds like. Yeah. But we all have an accent. It doesn't matter if you're from Peru, Puerto Rico, from the South. Terry has an accent. Kay has an accent. Kristen has an accent. We all have an accent. So within ourselves, we think that our accent, like people are worried about our accent. No, we all have an accent. So if you look at it that way, we all walk into the room with our own unique, because someone will say, you're from Philly. How do you know I'm from Philly?
You have an accent.
Yeah.
Okay, what you were gonna say?
To say the accent doesn't matter so much as the words that come out, the meaning behind it.
That's true.
Behind it. What is it that you're saying? It's the words. It's what you say, how you express yourself. If you use your accent, whatever it is, to accentuate what you're saying, that's one thing. But it's the words, it's what you say.
Yeah.
You have to be so careful when you're speaking with someone.
Yeah.
That you know which way to approach, and that you It's so that way you're creating in your building rather than tearing down.
Yeah.
Is what's important. Accents is neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's true. The content of what you're saying is very
She is
important.
speaking so much life today. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And also too, what I was going to say too, as far as like the weight thing, and some people may agree, disagree, and that's fine. But I think I think society puts a lot of pressure on women to be the perfect size so and look a certain way. And and some people may agree or disagree, but I really think that society puts a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way and be a certain size. And I think what we see is like, oh, I want to be like on TV or an actress or whoever. Oh my gosh, she's a size so and so. Oh, I need to look that way, or and it's just, if we could just look inside ourselves and, because some people's bodies are not going to be that size 4. It's just not. It's not going to be a size 2. They're not built that way. My grandmother, God rest her soul, I love her to death. She was never a size 2, would never be a size 2. And she always loved each of us for who we were, no matter what our size, no matter who. She always taught us to love our bodies for what they are, for what it is. So I think society has a lot of pressure on women to look a certain way.
Society definitely does play a big part in it. And, I was unfortunate in a sense that I was adopted. It wasn't unfortunate that I was adopted. It's good someone did adopt me. But unfortunately, I was adopted in a family where the women were like this big and I was not. And so it was like, my mom really gave me a hard time. I could be like a size 10 to a 12. Oh, you're getting big. You're getting big, and everybody's walking around. They're like super slim, the women. And, some people's metabolism is just different from others.
Yes.
And so, I was always a very active person, but I was never super slim like them. That was just not how I was built. And, because the older I got, it's gotten even worse. And you're right, Carla, don't put things off. Just practice and try to be a better version of yourself. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. I think instead of saying, instead of saying, to a girl, especially to a girl, but it goes for boys too. Instead of saying, you're getting fat, we can change and make it positive and maybe take the girl for a walk. You know what I mean? Or not, are you going to eat that? But, but why don't, let's teach nutrition and, healthy or give them options of healthy or healthier food. You know what I mean?
I think too, though, we got to be careful because like my son, he has a little weight on him, but his weight is from his eating choices. So I comment on his eating choices because that's why his weight is that way. But there's some people, they eat the right things, they work out, but they're not going to be a size 4.
And that's fine.
But they have to deal with how society. Yeah, they have to deal with how society is because their metabolism is different from other people.
I feel like as long as you're healthy,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was going to say that, I can not relate from the adoptive perspective that Terry was speaking on, but like if she would think about her biological family, they were probably like bigger. See, I grew up in a Black family where people like to eat. That is come from generation of, so no one ever questioned me about my weight. Like I never had that on both sides of my family. To me, the body was beautiful, the Black was beautiful. My mother, when I was growing up, she always ate healthy anyway. So she was how she was. By the time I was 12, like Terry was talking about that time, I was how I am. My children, because I married a man who was of a thinner build, I've got girls walking down here who are size 2 and 4, but that's them, has nothing to do with me. And so, but growing up, there was never an issue. There was never an issue of my mother saying to me, why don't you eat less or anything? And I don't do that to my girls. Society now is worse because everything's visual. Before we would see stuff on TV, it wouldn't hit us as much. We'd watch Saturday morning cartoons and Kung Fu and all that. But now everything with social media is visual. So I do have like the younger daughter who, for her, it's around her friends, it's who she sees. She unfortunately has alopecia like me. So imagine at 18, hair loss. So that's a whole different element that we're working on. But I just think that, yeah, I didn't have that just because in a lot of Black families, we do eat and
That's
grow up
it.
to, you know, be that way. So I didn't, you know, you gain baby weight, whatever. Again, I'm 51. I'm like 200, whatever. Some weight I know is because the fifth Corona 15 or whatever. But then then I still do try to eat like healthy, you know. So I make sure that every other thing I eat is like vegetable. But I'm going to have my chocolate though, because I'm a baker. So I'm a professional baker by trade. So I'm like, oh, I have a taste for some chocolate cake today or whatever.
Yum.
Cookies. I'm going to deny myself that, but I do make sure I drink a gallon of water a day. I'm eating spinach and kale and all that, and my vitamin. But it's like you just have to again own yourself. And I'm at the point like, hey, and the other thing also is with the society for the women, it's geared toward what the man likes, right?
That's another thing.
You know, you're dressing up when you're going on a date, you're dressing up for a guy. And by the time I was like, when I got divorced my second time, I was like 39. I was like, forget the guy. I'm dressing for me.
Michael always say, no, Michael says that we dress for other women.
No.
Because guys, he's like, those shoes, guys don't see shoes. You're buying shoes too, not for me, for your friends, so they could see your shoes.
So Michael, I wear Converse and Vans almost every day, so there.
Kayla, you were gonna say something.
Well, I was gonna say, because I was thinking that most likely stemmed from us being a capitalistic society, and of course, sex sells. So you always have the beautiful model with the car, sold a lot of cars and things like that. So and then like Leslie was saying, so now how we've progressed and we're so much more visual than where we once were, rather than picking up a magazine and, you know, there's the girl with the bikinis, you know, leaning on the hood of the car, so that car sold, whatever. Now everything's so visual that it's become much more rampant. And so we have to do like Miss Leslie was saying, and just, of course, you know, take it a step at a time and just approach it one person at a time and say, hey, you know, I understand that, but you are the healthiest you that you can be. So you know what? That's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
I totally agree with you, Kay. It's just the thing about society is I think we play a part in that too. We allow these things to happen. And in regards to like bathing suits stuff, I've looked at like old ads where women were used to sell cars even a long time ago. It's still happening today. And then women are never felt that they're enough. So they get the boob job, the butt job, the cinching. And then there's shows that glorify this and they'll try to say, oh, I worked out to get this butt, when in actuality, they got a plastic surgeon to do it. So, you know, what we're dealing with this you know, this cartoon caricature of this is how a woman's supposed to look. And then we play into it.
Yeah.
We play into it. Oh, I
want to say something about that.
Butt, or if I have this breast, I'm going to look good now.
But there's always something that you want. Yes.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop playing into it.
I think if you are happy with, if you want more boobs, you should get more boobs. If you have the possibility for you, you know what I mean?
Right.
For you. Yeah. I have a friend and she worked at a bar. And she's Colombian. She went to Colombia, did her boobs, came back, you know, went back to the bar. And someone told her, what did they say? Something about those are not your boobs. And she's like, honey, I paid for them. These are my boobs. And if you think about it, she was, you know, she's right. And she felt more happier and more confident. I think for, you know, your point, Terry, if you want it for you and not to please anybody else.
Yes.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think, you know, she wanted to pay for it. I think that's great. But deep down, psychologically, why do we feel like we have to have bigger breasts? Seriously. And like I said, I don't judge people that want to do that, because if that's what they want to do, that's their money, they can do that. But I'm going deeper now. Psychologically,
listen, I want to take, I don't want to.
Yeah, why do we want to have like this certain butt that, you know what I'm saying? it's all psychological, and deep down, if we really think about it, we really don't need it. What we were born with is really the best thing. But that's why I say I feel like we do play into it a lot of times.
Yeah.
We're a lot happy. Well, we're happier because we think that that's what people want to see. Deep down, it really is.
Can I say this quick thing? Oh, I'm sorry, Sandra. Go ahead, Sandra.
So I've never had an issue with my weight, but I did have an issue with my boobs. And I'll tell you why. Because the crowd of girls that I grew up with in high school, they all wanted like big boobs. And a lot of them got big boobs. I mean, they went and got them done and everything. I never got mine done. But inside myself, I wish I had big boobs. But now I'm okay with the way I am. And I never got them done. And now, you know, I see them, a lot of them had to have them taken out because they had health issues and stuff like that, you know, and at the time it looked okay, but it just, for me, I just felt like I didn't need to go and that far to get them done. And I'm okay with how they are. And, you know, it's me.
Yeah.
When I was modeling, like when I was like young, and like I was never super thin. I was always the thinnest I was about like a size 10, but I had smaller breasts, and I felt inferior because I was dealing with models that had paid for these like super breasts. And back then I did want to get breasts, but I realized now, and I'm glad I thought about it, it was because of that. And now I have huge breasts. I hate them. And I don't mean like hate them, like hate myself, but I do. And I'm like, the only breast job I'll do is say, hey, redo some of these things. So it always trips me out when people want more. I'm like, you can have mine if I could somehow physically give them to you.
To piggyback off both what Sandra and Tara were saying, like, so when I was young, like I had these beautiful full lips, but when I was young, I didn't appreciate them. And I literally look, now that I'm 51, I'm almost like the mirror image of my father. I said that on his birthday on FaceTime. I'm like, oh, it's like looking in the mirror. But when I was young, I would have so many different things because people used to tease me and stuff. And I would think I was like 12 or 13. And he had come by on his visit and I was crying. And he's like, why are you crying? I'm like, Dad, why do I have these lips? Why did you give me these lips? And he was like, it's genetics, but like in a few years, you'll thank me because there are people who are paying for your lips. And then when I get older, I see that this is the beauty of it all. You know, like, again, like what they were saying, like, why pay for something that you already have? But when you're younger, you don't appreciate that. Or when you think what society, I just cared about people teasing me. I wasn't even looking at, like, I looked at, you know, I wasn't looking at Sarah and all the other people. I just was getting tired of being teased, big lip Les. But now that I'm older, I see people, you know, Angelina, you can't, no matter how many surgeries you have, girl, they're not gonna look like this. You know, it's
you know, I stopped running because I have a big butt, and I used to run like when I was little, 8, 7, like a dog, you know. So we run like this with, I don't know, and I stopped. I didn't want to run anymore because I, you know, was teased. I think about 10 years ago, I started jogging again, and now I love it. But all these years without doing that, because I was traumatized as a child because the way I run.
Yeah. Yeah, I got told I had a big nose, that I stuffed my bra in school, and y'all, I'll never forget going home crying to my mom, and she's like, just give it time. Just give it time. You will grow into yourself. Like, you will, you know. And I mean, I always begged my mom, like, Mom, my nose is too big. Like, I want it, like, I used to tell her, cry, I want it fixed. I want it fixed. Or, you know, and she'd always tell me, give it time. I will never forget that. Give it time. You're not done yet.
Yeah, good
give
stuff.
It time.
Yeah.
And you're beautiful.
Yes.
You know, and I was thinking about a sad story recently where, you know, a woman got plastic surgery and she was gorgeous. I mean, this woman was gorgeous, but she felt she had to do something with her nose and she passed away. So we do really need to think about, you know, being satisfied with what we've got and just work on being our best self, you know, like, you know, eating right, working out, things of that nature.
Right.
And being nice and kind.
Yeah. But I definitely think that one of the things that helps us is not being amongst the very rich or in Hollywood is that we do have time to reflect and really think about like what's important, especially now with everything that we're going through. because I look at I love TV, I love movies, and I'll turn on and a person that I love from the season before, now they've got their face made. And I'm like, seriously, like, why? Like, why did you get surgery? You were fine the way that you were, but their society, their expectations are so different than ours. So imagine like just the stuff we see every day that we think that we should be doing, what they're told they need to do in order to succeed and stay relevant in acting and everything. And I just like look at like, I can't, why?
And
like,
that's what we can't compare ourselves to them.
Wow.
We live a completely different life. And
Yeah.
To girls too. We can't compare ourselves, or you can compare yourself to the Kardashians,
Exactly.
because they have a total different.
They're not girls to look up to, but that's just
not for me either. No. I'm just putting them as an example because they are, you know, relevant now. Not I used to like them when they started.
Carla, we do it. We do that, Carla, and because, and I think the main reason we do it, and Kardashians is a great example, is especially for younger people, is because everybody's online now. Everybody's basically trying to be a star online. So this isn't like back in the day when you're watching TV and go to the movies and that's it. And you never expect to try to look like, you know, I'm just gonna throw Marilyn Monroe out there, somebody like that. But you know what I'm trying to say. But now it's like, oh, I want to look like them. They did a reality show. I'm going to do this YouTube show and I'm going to become a star, but I've got to get this done, that done. You know, everybody's trying to be a star now on their social media accounts. So I think it does play in. That Kardashians is a good example. I think they are looked at. And we know that it's plastic surgery, but you know, it is what it is.
Even if it wasn't, you know, even if it wasn't plastic surgery, we should have better role models. And I'm not demonizing or diminishing what they've done, because they are geniuses. Because whatever they are doing is working.
Entrepreneurial,
yes, but something more, you know, with more substance. Does that make sense?
Serena Williams, baby, Serena Williams.
Williams.
And you
there
take
you go.
Platform and you grow, right? You take your platform and you grow. And unfortunately, it's not us, because we're all at an age where we totally understand. We're having this conversation, but it's our girls, you know, younger girls, and it's like the stuff that they're listening to, and all the jewelry and all the teeth and
Botox.
Everything. So it's those things that they're seeing, and and the more popular, like we can use the Kardashians, the more popular that set gets, how much can we tell our children? Because what it is, we're teaching our children to go out and be successful. So they see that as success, right? They see that as, you know, make your own plan, set your own goals. They started off as the Kardashians, but now all of them are going to doing different things. They're breaking off and doing different things. And so that's the way that it is. Because there's a lot of people that I look at like, how you get here, girl? It throws me off, because I'm back in Run DMC time, but now you got the rappers who can't even rap, but that's what the kids are, you know, gravitating.
Yeah, that is true.
Well,
Botox, speaking of Botox, Kristen, you had mentioned that. I was reading an article where they said really younger people, like really young, that should not be doing Botox at all, are doing it because they want that perfect, because you know, their selfies and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Look at that line I have right there. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there. The more I smile or whatever, the more it's pronounced. There you go. So hey, I earned that line. I earned those lines. Why, you know,
right.
For real, right? I earned all this. I earned all that.
And I also try to teach my kids too that even my 6-year-old, I don't know if y'all know about Ryan's World, Ryan, who, you know, he's like a little kid, and he makes like, him and his parents make millions of dollars off YouTube, which
right.
I give him props. But you know, he was like, Mom, I want to be famous like Ryan, and I want to do this, I'll tell both my boys, I'm like, if you want to start a YouTube channel when you're older, because, you know, people are cruel. When you're older, that's up to you. But first of all, I want them to chase their dreams, but I also want them to be realistic and look at the other heroes in this world other than what's on a screen.
Yeah.
Um,
We're heroes. We're all
Yeah,
heroes.
I mean-
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yes, but I want them to think more outside the box than
Yeah.
just what they're shown.
Yeah.
Right.
That's you're not
Yeah.
going to see that. You're not going to really, you're not going to really see that because there are people, we're older. We know Ruth she was a superhero, but there are people like she was a judge. She wasn't a superhero or whatever, depending on whatever you're
Because they don't know what
Yeah,
she went through to get where
exactly.
she was. And
Right.
it's, I think it's our
Everyone,
responsibility
you
to
mentioned
tell
Harriet
them.
Tubman, it's so many names we could throw out there,
Yeah.
but it really depends on like where you are and what space you're in. Because to me, like Eric, right? Firefighter. My husband was a superhero. When other people are running out, they're running. That's a superhero. My son is a soldier.
Yeah.
He's the superhero. But people
Yes.
are like, they want to see on the screen who they think Superman baby can't fly. The Superman is here, that's getting up every single day and taking care of his family
Yeah.
and paying the bills and all that.
Now nurses are heroes, the first responder, doctors,
That's
first
true.
They've
responders.
always been heroes, and I talk about that all
Well,
the time.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they call them
but so more
superheroes,
now
yeah.
because they're putting themselves
But
more at risk.
they've been superheroes from the beginning,
Yeah.
Yes. Preach it, Leslie.
I'm sorry. Well, that's the thing, it's like, I'm glad that Carla had me on because it's that thing. It's like, I'm old now. I'm getting older. So I see things like totally different. And I, even though I probably experienced them, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. We're all weirdos.
You're not old, Leslie.
Yeah.
I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. I don't even know
Not old, Leslie.
I don't know what 51's supposed to feel like. I'm still waiting for it to hit me. My dad just turned 72. Like I still don't.
That's another thing that we because we're running out of time, but I want to talk about real quick, women and age. Why do we put yet another weight on ourselves with age? Why are we so afraid? And when I say we, I'm talking in general. I'm not saying we are specific.
Messing with Sandra. Does she know?
I think we live in an ageist society, where the society is harder on women as they age than men. So I think that's why we have a harder time with it. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Sandra.
No, go ahead. I mean, finish it off. I think I'm gonna bounce off of yours. So go ahead.
No, but I mean, society does that, just like when you see ads and they're talking about wrinkle cream, they always pick a woman that's really, realistically, she's probably just in her 30s. And, they have her doing this wrinkle cream.
Yes.
Right.
There's like, a lot of money involved in things dealing with aging, especially for women. And, it's just society. So it is unfortunate that we have to deal with that as well.
Sandra as well. Sandra?
Yeah, I think my whole thing with the age is I guess it's just a number, right? When you really think about it. But in my head, I kept thinking, oh my God, I'm so old and so old, and that just started to play even a bigger song in my head. And then I had to deal with that. And I had to say, you're not old. It's so what? So you're 60, whatever, you're just who you are. And and then I started reading about the 60 being the new 50. Then I felt really good about that. And then like, okay, then I'm really only 50.
So it's like 30, 50, 40.
50 is the new 40. So, because it's going back in time. So I'm
Yeah.
okay now.
Okay, what do you think?
What?
Well, like Miss Terry and Miss Sandra were saying, your age is really nothing but a number. It doesn't define who you are. You've earned, like Miss Leslie was saying again, you've earned those wrinkles. That is my wrinkle. I own it. That is mine. I've earned it. This is mine. But it doesn't define me. It helps to characterize who I am and the knowledge and the beliefs that I do pass on.
Mhm.
The experience.
Yeah.
We should be glad to age,
That's what I was going to say, because many people didn't make it. So
Yeah.
no matter what age you are, many people didn't make it. And it's amazing that because I'm 51, sometimes I still feel like I'm 16, but like I had an older brother and he drowned at 8. And so when I think back, I think like, what would his life have been like? You know, we were only a year apart. And so what would his life would have been like if he was still here? Can't dwell on that because I am here, but there are so many people who didn't make it. But then also, which the people I love, I mess with. Terry's in my group, she knows, and Sandra's know me, she knows. It's about love, and it's just like really pushing you out of your comfort zone. It's just like owning. Sandra's really stepping out and doing things just like super phenomenal. But
Yes.
also when we talk about our age, I think it's really important of what this whole panel is about is empowering women to realize that how we started the conversation, we're not just someone's daughter, we're not just someone's wife, we're not just someone's mother. I am Leslie. A reseller's passion describes who I am as a whole, everything that I'm passionate about. And at 51, wow, I had my children, but my life is not over. And I have choices, and every day I'm going to go out and just create some new realities for myself. And that's why I do the thing. And that's why I'm like, wow, 51. And I talk about it a lot. And I tell people, if you get tired of it, I'm sorry, but like, imagine what you used to think 51 was. You thought your mother was old or whatever, but 50 hit. And I was like, 50 literally was the best time of my life because I met everybody. It was all the parties, the posh parties, posh fest. And I came into 51, like, bring it on, bring it on. You know, keep failing forward, keep moving.
Yeah.
Moving. And that's why I said to Sandra, don't, you know, people, there's someone out there waiting to hear your story. What we're holding on to and what we think is like taboo, it's amazing who's waiting to hear like, oh my gosh, my children just told me, Mom, sit over there. But now we see Miss Sandra over here doing her thing. She's modeling, she's TikToking, she's on Instagram. And then you get to see that and go, wow, you know what I can do it. All the messages that I get every single day when people are like, I'm 65 and I'm doing this because I saw your video. Just keep on going, ladies. Don't hide your age. Somebody wants to hear that. They want to hear it. They really do.
Well, my mom is like, I know my mom's watching, 60 something.
She said 60 something.
But let me tell y'all, she works a full-time job. And she can run circles around me. I'm not even kidding. That woman is superwoman. Like, she is amazing. So when she says, I'm old, I'm like, Mama, really? Like, you're running circles around me. What does that even consider old? Like,
we have to take that out of, you know, there's a couple, and I know Kristen has to go in a bit, or no? You okay?
I'm good right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are some words that we should be taking out of our vocabulary. Old is one of them.
Well, I always tell her, well, my mom's always told me, she goes, you know what, age is just a number, and I'm young at heart. That's what she says. I'm young at heart.
Yes, and that's it.
Yeah,
because we should take old. We should take the just. We always, you know, and I read an article years and years ago. I used to send emails when I was working in the law firm. I just want to tell you this. I'm just writing you, or I'm just sending you this email because it's client so-and-so, or I'm just letting you know. And then I read the article and I was like, why are you saying just?
Or
just say, I'm writing this, or I want this. I took that just out of my vocabulary. And I still sometimes think, and I erase it. Why are we justifying ourselves because of what we want or what we need or what we have to say? The just and the sorry, instead of excuse me or I'm sorry I'm late, it's, you know, let's say thank you for your patience. Little tweaks like that, first of all, it's more positive, and second, we're not justifying ourselves. You know, if we bumped into or someone bumps into us, we're like, oh, sorry, instead of, you know, just wait for them to say excuse me, and then you can say it's okay.
Yeah, I'm an apologetic person. I say I'm sorry all the time. Like, I'm sorry, or I'm sorry. Like, I've been trying to rewire my brain to be like, you're not even sorry. Why are you saying that? Like, just give that other person an opportunity. And then, you know, that,
I think being from the South plays into that too, right, Kristen? Because I'm from the South also.
Oh, totally. Like, you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
I think so. Mhm.
I was going to say in reference to that, a lot of that is true. I've gotten to the point that it's you just
Now, if it didn't, if your experience wasn't like that, please let me know.
No, but I was going to just say that a lot of times that we do that, it has nothing to do with whether we're sorry or not. It's just the type of person that we are.
That is true.
We have that spirit that you don't want to hurt anyone. So
that's
even now, I don't have a problem saying no or anything like that, but I'd rather not say no. If I know that I can do it, I'm going to try to do it. It has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with me and fulfilling, commitments or whatever. But if you are a person who is really kind and generous, that's what you're going to do. You're going to say, I'm sorry. I still find myself saying that, and I'm okay with it. Sometimes I get in my room and I go, why did I do that? You know what? It's just who you are. Now, if somebody's really bothering you or doing something disrespectful, then you need to speak up. But that I'm I'm sorry is not a big deal. My husband knows that if we get, I'm like really quiet and I don't get into a whole lot of stuff. I love just being chill, being nice or whatever. But if you make an issue with me, real quick, I had my first fight with my husband. I was just nice all the time, right? And he didn't, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's someone else out here like you or whatever. And something happened and we had this huge fight. And I was like, yeah, call me when you feel better or whatever. And he would call me. I wasn't picking up the phone. He called my mother. Now, he's only 6 years younger than my mother. He called my mother up, and my mother was like, oh, you thought she was just real nice, didn't you? So it's like, seriously. And he was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm not going to be anybody's yes man, but if I'm sorry, and just let it move on. The other thing I was going to say, I don't know if you have been looking at your comments, Carla.
I can't because it's the delay.
So much good stuff. Like just the validation for the ages. The women are putting their ages out there. So that's the cool thing, and they're just talking about.
I want to have this talk again because I think it's really important, and there are some issues that we didn't get to speak or talk because it's so big, and I think women have been portrayed, and we have been put in this place that we have to break. You know what I mean? And be free, or be who we really are, be human beings and not just be what they want us to be. So I think this is the first of a lot of talks that we're gonna have. If you want to be in, girls, just message me and I'll be happy to add. And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Leslie. Thank you so much I asked Leslie, she said, what time? Kristen,
that's only because we're friends. I don't do it for everyone.
I love you. Kristen, love you. Sandra, you're the best, and I'm so proud of you. Terry, I'm so happy we get to speak, and I'm looking forward to know you better. And I love your posts, and I think you're a strong woman and an excellent sample. Kay, what can I say? I love you. You are an inspiration. You are amazing. And thank you for being here. And thank you for being who you are.
Yay.
So much.
I want to say real quick, since you don't see your live.
Go ahead. Yes.
Such a great live. This is Michelle. Such a great live. All you ladies are beautiful. Great job, Carla.
Thank you, Michelle.
Puerto Rican.
Thanks, Michelle.
I'm proud of you. This is awesome. New England Betty Boop, his Lizette.
Yes.
Such a great live, ladies. Thank you. You did awesome, Carla. So just all that. It's
I will read the comments. I promise. And I promise next time I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
This is my first, so I knew something was gonna go wrong, and the delay. That's what I'm doing it on Zoom. But I will highlight your comments next time.
Carla, you did a great job for your first time.
Thank you.
Yes, you did great.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, girls. So now, when we get a compliment, we say
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Fantastic.
And we don't say sorry for nothing. We just say, excuse me, or just wait. And let's take the just out of.
I'm going to say sorry if I'm wrong. I'm going to own
Yes.
it.
Oh, no. That's a completely different issue. Yeah, me too. If I'm wrong, I'll say sorry.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah,
will say
definitely.
different, but I do say sorry. I do.
And say no with no apologies.
Exactly.
That's right.
Good
I'm
stuff.
saying yes, Sandra. Thank you. Saying no with no apology, and not with the need of excusing yourself. Like you
Right.
said, yes. Yes.
So I want to say to Carla, thank you so much. It's amazing to see that you've come so far. I really appreciate the fact that you have stepped out of your comfort zone and then you continue to take the step forward. A year ago, again, we did have the conversation where she was talking about her accent and doing different things, and she's just really blossomed as everyone here. I would love to get to know everyone, but I know Sandra, I know Terry, Kristen, and Kay. I would love to get to know you. But Carla, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I'm super proud of you. I really am.
Yeah,
So much.
amazing.
How do I get out of the life?
I
We're
think
just
you
hang
just
out.
But we can all leave at the bottom right is a leave.
Hold on.
button.
Let me go back to YouTube. Leslie, stay, please. Okay, so here, no, it's not letting me.
Down at the right button, down at the right, there should be at your screen, there should be a leave button.
a red button.
Red button that says leave.
Oh, no, it says autoplay. Bear with me, people.
So if you're on Zoom,
Problem.
the Zoom
I don't know what
button,
I've, oh, no,
Yeah.
wait.
Hey,
I
Kay,
made it
what's your
bigger.
Instagram?
I made
you have
it
a
bigger.
mouse? Do you have a mouse? Just roll over down at the bottom. Terry's at the bottom of my screen. I don't know where she is on your screen. Like right under Terry's picture, there's a leave.
Yeah.
Just red.
Okay, yes, there's no, oh, no.
You don't see the red button?
Mm-mm. There's the live button with,
Now mine's at the top of the screen.
Yeah, that's at the top for me.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not doing this Zoom again. You're gonna do.
girl.
still get
Oh, here, I see
Here,
it. It's on
okay.
Zoom, not on, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.